Shema, my friends. Today we're going to be watching an older fight from Power 4, and this is between Jakub Ladynski, and Vladimir Maksimienko, aka Hartman, who is a friend of mine I had the chance to meet and hang out with in Prague back at Ladynski during the World Championship. So let's go down the stats, look at the tail of the tape. Jakub, 32, 84 kilos, 180 centimeters, 11-1 record, pretty good. Fighting out of Club Cannabis Day. I like that. And the city Elbląg, Poland. I assume it's in Poland. And then on the other side, Hartman, 37, 81 kilograms, 188 centimeters tall, a record of 14-5, Club Livland. And I think he started that club out of the city Riga. I hope it's pronounced Riga. Hartman, Latvian, one of the team captains and one of the best pro fighters from that country. Jakub, highly ranked, really good middleweight fighter from Poland. I've watched both of these fighters multiple times, but I have not watched this matchup. Let's hydrate before the fight starts. Jakub getting into the ring. Got that wolf rib on. Super classic. Optimized for a lot of pro fights. Melees as well. Here we go. Touching tips. Hartman in his clap visor in blue. Hanging guard defense. Offside shot blocked pretty cleanly. Low shot blocked. Might have snuck through a tiny bit, but mostly blocked. Fighters feeling each other out at range. You can tell that they respect each other's skills enough that they don't want to just commit recklessly. I think Jakub landed that good low shot. He's trying to step in for a shield punch, mostly blocked. Gets the underhook on the clinch. Tries to scoop the leg out and take Hartman back. Hartman gets a knee. I would like to see him try and rotate off the list and then throw those knees. He's controlling the elbow of Jakub. Hartman is. He's trying to control the other arm as well so that he can turn Jakub's body and create some space. There now he's trying to get his own low sword shots off while still framing on the inside arm. Throws a good knee up the middle there. Gets an overhook on the other side. Jakub tries to kind of free his arm by swinging the sword back. Hartman goes for a trip, doesn't get it, lands a knee, and then Jakub swings, hits the pesticide spray. Both fighters take a breath after that long exchange of grappling. Hartman again into the hanging guard at range. I'd like to see if Jakub starts picking up on that and attacking the arm or attacking the opening down the middle with that shield punch. Kind of like that. That time he hit the sword, but if he's able to slide that shield in, good low leg shot, he could be landing some solid points. Good snap. Oh, and return by Hartman. Very competitive first round. Good low leg shot. A lot of activity. Jakub feinting at range, trying to get a reaction, then goes low. Hartman goes snap into the offside. Gets one shot through out of the combo. Blocks the snap. Blocks it again. His hanging guard's being pretty effective right now. Good counter. Block and then a little bit of a swing and a miss. Lands a chop to the shoulder. There you go. Now we're starting to see a cross block from Jakub when he lifts that shield and brings it across his body. That's a good defense for those offsides if you can't block it with your weapon. Good dodge from both fighters there. Jakub again looking for that low leg shot. Picked it up. Pretty good, did Hartman. And then easy shield punch, though. Trades it right back onto Jakub, though. They trade snaps. Good duck from Jakub there. Boom. Goes for the low shot again. He has kind of a winging low shot. I would like to see him start off with a snap or a punch and then drop that low shot in more. He does throw a good combo there and then a good snap at the end. Nice snap by Hartman. Rings the helmet. Good first round. Solid action there. That was pretty enjoyable to watch. I would say it's really close, and it kind of goes to who you would say had the more effective shots that landed. I like that shield gauntlet, by the way, or sorry, that sword gauntlet, by the way, that Jakub has. I have a similar one. I've used a similar one. Hartman over there, looks like he's breathing kind of heavy in the corner. There was a lot of activity, and he did try to go for that takedown, which he didn't get. And as we know, if you go for a takedown and you don't get it, it can sap your energy. Emil in the corner, hell yeah. Giving some advice to his fighter. Jakub gets a little bit of water as he gets ready for round 2. These are those moments where you got to breathe. Because it was a very even round, you need to think about what can I do to adjust and steal the next one or secure the round even further. Because if he did win it, I would say Jakub won it off of just volume of shots because Hartman kind of controlled the clinch. So if you're going to go based off of that grappling exchange, which was one of the only differences in the first round, Hartman might have won it. So going to the second round, I could feel Jakub wanting to improve on his performance. That's it right there. That's solid. That shield punch right down the middle. We talked about in the first round. That's how you punish the hanging guard. And then those good low shots. It's much more of a threat now, that low shot. It's not as easy to block or just void it with your leg because you have to worry about the shield punch coming in. And now Hartman's kind of on the run. Throws some good cross offside shots. Misses the leg. Good snap there. Blocks the combination sword shot from Jakub. Shield gets through though. And then good sword work. Okay, so right now we have Jakub kind of punching in with a series of like low chops and then shield punches, and Hartman trying to sword counter on the break, on the exchange after leaving. Good punch from Hartman there. Vladimir eats it on his sword, but even though he blocked that one with his sword, the force still hit him. They end up in this clinch position. Jakub tries to go for a Kouchi where he's trying to wrap his leg around Hartman's and then drag him towards it. He wants to get that outside trip. If his body was a little bit more postured forward and he was able to get his hand from around the back to up around the shoulder, it would have been more effective. Hartman lands a good shield punch and then is kicked away by the straight kick. I would like to see Hartman throwing more hand punches, basically, with his weapon hand. Those times when he gets in close and he's either close enough to throw the shield punch or close enough to throw the knee and backing out, he could be throwing another punch, forcing a reaction by feinting it. He hasn't ever established it as a threat, so right now it isn't. Good block there from Jakub. And then there's that winging low shot again. Shield punch slides through, but again countered by that sword chop from Hartman. Hartman starting to tire a little bit. Good hand punch there from Jakub, and then a good jab from the shield. That's what you want to see right there. See, now it's a threat. Now he's hit him one time with it solidly. You've got to respect it, or else it can happen again. 2 good chops there. One blocked, but the one got through to the leg from Jakub. Good shield jab, answered by a few good sword blows from Jakub. Hartman posturing, goes back to the hanging guard, and immediately gets countered by that straight punch. If you're going to hang out, literally hang out in the hanging guard, you're going to get punched by a good fighter. You have to adjust your guard now. Yep, and see, he's starting to have to work his own shield punch. Bring his left hand down into a bit of a more traditional stance. Good shield punch, leg combo from Jakub. Good punch there. Hartman trying to take a breath and gather himself. Jakub's not letting him. Really good tactical awareness there. When your friend or when your opponent is trying to breathe and take a break, that's perfect time to attack. You don't let them, when you are ahead especially, or when you're pressing the offense, don't give them that moment to gather themselves and think about what they want to do. That's the perfect time to really, even if it's just a feint, keep that little bit of pressure on, win the stamina battle. Again, pretty close round. I would say that I think Jakub took that in the very end. If you're going to give the edge to someone, I think Hartman feels like he won that round, and it was very close. You could give it either way, and I don't think it would be a robbery. But I'm going to give Jakub that second round just because I would say he landed the much more effective shots. Like, he had a couple of shots that rocked Hartman. Well, Hartman maybe had like 1 or 2. Here we go. Let's see. 1-1 going into this third round. Both fighters postured up. Hartman's not going into that hanging guard as quickly now. Blocks the shield punch, blocks the sword there. Eats a little bit of a kick to the body, kind of to the hip. That's a new weapon. Let's see if that has any impact here. Good exchange from both fighters there. Sword shot for shield punch. Good left hook over the top by Jakub. Now Jakub goes to the hanging guard. I wonder if Hartman will be able to see and read that and go to the same adjustment. Jab traded from both fighters. Good combination from Hartman. Man, you can see he's feeling it. He's a little fatigued. Trying to stand on the outside. Winging shots with the falchion from both guys. Nice shield punch and then combination. Swords blocked by Jakub. Hartman lands a good snap there. Barely blocks a shield punch. Ooh, he's tired, man. You can tell. Hartman's getting toward the end of his gas tank. What is this? Armor failure. It looks like they're checking his visor to see if something's wrong. Man, I'll bet you both guys are really glad of that. What are they going to do? Zip tie this real quick? Let's skip forward through this first. Let's watch the fight, then we'll go back. Okay, here we go. 11 minutes in. Ooh, good shield punch gets through from Jakub. And then a sword shot. Looks like it landed to the body. Hartman going back to the hanging guard. Feints a little bit. Lands a good chop. And then eats the leg kick. Good snapshot. Nice leg kick. And then low shot on the other side from Jakub. And then another leg kick. And then another low shot. Man, he's beating those legs up this round. Those leg kicks are really turning into an effective weapon for him. They trade sword punches or sword shots and then shield punches. Jakub walks into the clinch. Oh, Hartman goes for a great tilt. Almost gets the throw. He just didn't quite block the legs or secure the other arm enough to finish it. But he ends up in this dominant position, pressing Jakub into the corner of the list here. Looks like the ref's going to separate. No, he stopped him from grabbing his own blade. Here, he's telling him to work, making sure they don't just sit there resting. He's making sure neither one of them clinch the list. There's no hooking or draping your arms over it, I assume. Hartman goes for a throw, doesn't quite get it again. Both fighters really feeling the fatigue now. The sun's out. Good snap exchange from both men. Ooh, Jakub barely misses with that hook he loaded up on. Hartman lands a good body kick and then misses 2 sword shots. Blocks the low leg sword shot. Blocks another one. Can't quite land the exchange. And that's the fight. That's the fight. Man. I'd have to think about this one. That was a tough third round to call. You could definitely say that Jakub had a little bit more activity. You know, he landed quite a few of those leg shots with his kicks. He landed a few more leg shots with the sword. But it's not like Hartman didn't land shots. He was throwing quite a few punches and quite a few sword blows to the head. You might have to judge it on who you think was more effective with their striking, not just the overall volume. And I think it comes down to round 3, and I would personally, it's hard to say. I don't want to call against my friend, but I might have to say Jakub won round 3. But it's close. I could go to either guy. I could see Hartman winning it based on the sword play, so it just kind of depends on how you score those leg kicks. Let's see what the PWR judges have to say. Great fight from both guys. Oh, looks like they gave it to Hartman. Yeah, and again, I'm not too shocked. I'm not surprised. I could absolutely see it. Every single round was close. I think Hartman won the first round most convincingly of all. Maybe we go most convincingly of all. Go back to round 1. 38 seconds in. This is the round where Hartman had a lot of success with his hanging guard, a lot of feints, heavy defensive round. And in that clinch position, he was able to work his way out of it, get a few knees off, and then almost secure a takedown. There's a moment here, minute 38, about 1 minute and 30 seconds in. Hartman lands a knee and then goes for an outside trip. In this pro fight, there's almost no reason he doesn't scoop his leg around behind the back of Jakub or try to drop down and scoop and pick the ankle with his hand. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want to for sure secure that takedown, high percentage way to do it. On the other side of it, the problem he has here is the same problem he has later on, and we'll look at it. He doesn't quite control the body enough when he goes for these tilts. He had the legs scooped, they were entwined together, but he didn't quite turn and break the posture of Jakub enough to get that takedown. And that was true the entire fight. This first round again, a lot of defensive work from Vladimir. Ate some shield shots, but you can see that Jakub, when he throws these shield punches, he kind of flattens his shield out. And especially in this first round, they're getting picked up on the guard of Hartman all the time. And it's because it's such a big shield that it's catching on things, right? You want to slide it in at a little bit more of a vertical angle. You don't want to just punch the guard constantly. And so when he's throwing those hooks, at first, he's throwing them right into the Hartman's guard. It isn't until we get to round 2. Skip a little bit more here through round 1. Yeah, round 1, I would say, is a close round, but pretty easy to decide for Hartman. Round 2, Hartman starts out the round in his hanging guard. Jakub throws a snapshot up high and then down to the leg. Not bad. And then immediately feints a snapshot and drops that shield punch straight down the middle. Let's look at that one more time. In that one, he still flattened out his shield, but because he had threatened the sword shot, Hartman had committed his guard to the side. So he had taken his frames and shifted his hanging guard completely over. So this opening was completely clear. All this second round, Jakub took advantage of that. And like I said, he started to cross block with his shield to pick up the offside shot that Hartman was landing on the way out. He didn't quite pick it up every single time, but he had more success this round. Maybe that was some good corner work from his friend and apparent coach, Emu. Yeah, the second round was a good round from both fighters still. They did end up in this clinch position. Let's go back to it. Now, it's kind of funny here. When they initiate, Jakub has got his head leaned in, got an underhook, and then control of the head. So his left arm's up by the head. And now we're going to see that he scoops the leg, and he's in a really good position there to finish. 2 problems, 2 ways that he could have made this better and guaranteed his takedown here. 1, take his right arm, which is around the back, and try to grab up as high as he can. And if you can't grab up, try to grab further, right? Now, I like to grab up because if you can grab up around the shoulder or around the armpit even, when you're pulled down, your arm won't be as trapped underneath them. Whereas if you're wrapped around the waist all the way, even if you get the takedown, your arm gets stuck a lot of the time. Other thing to do is with his left arm, punch up and over, more committed, basically. Right here, he kind of leaves it behind him and wings it. What I would like to see is when he steps forward or when he tries to pull back, Let's go again to 550. When he goes to pull back, I want to see him turn completely so he ends up almost chest to chest facing Hartman. So here he's got the underhook, punch that underhook higher, turn, boom. See there, he kind of puts his weight to the side like this, as opposed to rotating his weight and torso in and through. And then when he tries to get out at the end, he tries to duck out without really clearing the hands and eat some shots for it. If there's any parts of the round where you could feel like Hartman for sure won, it was this kind of middle section here. I think Jakub won the beginning of it and then maybe won the little bit of the end of the round. He started to land some shots, but there in the middle, it was all Hartman after that potential takedown. They're trading a little bit here towards the end. They both have pretty hard exchanges. A lot of times walking right into each other's shots. That means your head movement is probably not very good. I mean, sometimes you walk in and you move your head right into something, but if you're both jabbing all the time and walking right into each other's jabs, see if one of you can get offline, move a little bit side to side, change your level as you throw your shot. Bro, the second round was really close too, honestly. I do still think that Jakub won it, but it was closer to call, just looking at the highlights. And then, once again, let's go to the third round. Because I kind of want to see a few more of the leg shots. And here's my mind when I'm looking at these. I want to see like how effective they are. Like, what does Hartman do when he gets kicked in the leg? Like, how does he react to them? How does it make him change his fight? See, the first one doesn't really land, but that might not land, but it still might get your opponent thinking that you have a threat there. You have a new tool in your arsenal. Good shield punch from Jakub. Just watching back through round 3. You can see the sun coming in and out from behind clouds. Once again, there's that change or exchange of shield punches. Goes for a hard leg kick that time. Looks like if it did land, it would have been with some force. But then Jakub eats a shield punch and a falchion shot. So let's look at the next leg kick that he lands and see what it essentially is a trade for. You know, if we're going to see a leg kick, then you got to see what happened on the way in, or what did you eat to land that leg kick. Hartman lands a good shield punch down the middle. See, that was a good combination there because he changed sides with it. He threw a leg kick on the left side, threw a sword shot on the right side, and then another leg kick on the left side. That I like. So he throws a leg kick and then a sword shot, both of which Hartman tries to block. And then the last leg kick, it looked like Hartman did not enjoy eating that one. Then these fighters end up in the clinch position, and right there, oh, that tilt. When they end up in this tilt, all Hartman has to do is, when he goes for that, step his leg and hip across a little bit further. So look, he doesn't quite control the shield arm either, so he's just got the underhook. He should punch this underhook up over a little bit more. And then right here, you guys can kind of see it in the footage. I got to pause 11:47. Let's go back. Hartman's leg that he went to kick with, he missed. If you go for a big kick like that, that's fine. But instead, you should just go for a series of small little shuffling steps in, or that big kick, and then shuffle again. Like, he doesn't quite get it. And then he stands up. He throws a little uppercut. I would have liked to see him, instead of doing that, coming off, just keep your weight on Jakub and throw the hip toss one more time. Give it like one more step. He does still end up in this really dominant clinch position in the corner, which they eventually separate them out of. So that kind of worked out in his favor. And then even here, though, when they're kind of sliding out of the corner, he ends up with a headlock, and he just throws his arm off the top of the helmet and doesn't secure anything with it. That's one of those times when he gave something away for free, right? Like, he didn't make Jakub fight out of that position. He just gave him an exit by trying to attempt a move that was pretty low percentage. Just put your weight on the guy and make him work. This is a lot more convincing the second watch through for Hartman. I think that the second round was Jakub, but first and third, Hartman for sure. And the third actually was a little bit more dominant than I initially thought. Based on the leg kicks, I was kind of leaning Jakub, like, because they looked pretty effective in the moment. But what I was reading in real time as Hartman trying to dodge or his legs being moved was actually a little bit more Jakub just missing sometimes, or Hartman dodging and blocking them. Great fight, you guys. Love to see it. Again, I'm a big fan of both these guys, so I would say hope to see either one of them again soon, you know? Maybe we'll see one of these guys fighting in AMMA in the US someday. Maybe I'll get a chance to train with both of these guys. I would love that. So shout out to you, much love, and pa.